Okay, Mario, once again. I've been working on this Hover One Rogue hoverboard, and I took it completely apart so that I can get access to the sides, which hold these brackets that pivot weirdly here sideways, that hold also the motors. So I took these brackets and I removed that leg, the leg that takes that rod, that connecting rod, because this is a foldable hoverboard. So what I did was I removed these guys. I cut those legs so that I can have just a solid piece where I can put a cross brace across these and mount my motors directly to these guys. We'll see how that comes out in a later video. But I wanted to capture this in this video, this modification here. So I took out what would be the this connection right here. Let's see, where's that? This connection right here was right there. That's your on-off switch. So when this closes, it automatically will turn this on. So I remove that because I'm going to put an external one. That's the starting button. And right here on this side, it had the charging jack. So I removed that. The charging jack is off, so it left me two open spots there, about ½ inch opening. And then I came in and I drilled 3/8 inch holes on this side so that I can put these bolts here. These are short. These are about 1 inch, 3/8 by 1 inch bolts. They have a lock nut and a washer. This was a little tricky because of these posts here that take the covers. So these posts are necessary for if you want to maintain the cover. So I don't want to cut these off. I don't want to cut this section here to weaken this area. I don't want to weaken that area. So I just took my time and I used one of these guys right here, just kind of working my way from the bottom, kind of on an angle, you know, locking it little by little. I did have to wedge this bolt here on the other side, this hex bolt with this hex key. I just shoved that there, and that wedged it, and it allowed me to lock this knot on the other side. So now it's nice and tight. This is nice and one piece now, so it's not going to go anywhere. Now that I have this unit here, and the reason why I wanted to keep this unit is I was going to dismantle the whole thing and just go with separate speed controls. But this one has a little bit different setup. It's not one of those hoverboards that pivots in the center via that tube. These actually they pivot on these ends here of this plate right here. That's where your pivoting is done, and then they have these springs, which allows you to execute, you know, the left and right movements just by pivoting these whole plates, and you don't have to pivot the whole assembly, which is very, very clever what they did here. I did say that earlier in the video that it was rather stupid the way that they did this this thing, you know, where you have to carry it in a V shape, and then you have to attach these rods. That's stupid, but this is very clever what they did here. So kudos in that respect. I mean, there are things that sometimes people do right, and sometimes, you know, the designers, you know, they they overthink it and they try to be different, and they try to make it you know, make it different in, you know, it's not practical, you know, when you have to do things like that, add bars here, you know. Yeah, just keep this straight and leave it at that, you know. Then leave it as one piece. It's a lot better than having this folded and then having it turn on as soon as you join the two halves, you know. That's also a little bit it's not practical, because, you know, this turns on as soon as you flip it, and it becomes straight, and you hinge and you lock it, you know. It's automatically on by nature of that button switch that was used to be here. So I remove that. What I am going to do here is use these as my foot pedals, you know. So I think this thing right here, I think this will look good, you know, in front of the go-kart structure that I'm going to do. I'm trying to do something like that. So if I put this in the front, I can control the same way you would control with the levers. You know, those levers, you would control it, except that you're controlling it with your feet, and this will be in the front, except that the wheels will be in the rear, nice and solid, you know, mounted. I am going to have to run extensions from the all the connections that go to the motors and the Hall sensors, you know, that 5-pin connector. I'm going to have to run lines to the back, which is not a problem. This is my bar already. I already cut this bar, and I already cut a horizontal here, a couple horizontals, so that I can start my my assembly. These will have to go back here, you know, because those are going to be the foot pedals, and this will be mounted at the front. It is a little heavy, but you know, considering that it's part of the hoverboard, you know, it's it is what it is. You know, it's I could bypass that. I could bypass this weight here and just go with lighter by removing some of this material here, because I'm not using these cubby holes for the batteries. The batteries are good. I took them out. The batteries go here, actually here, saddle mount. One on this side, one on the other side. 10 cells on this side, 10 cells on the other side, to make up the total of they make up the total of 36 volts, 36 volt, 4 amp hour. So that's how they're doing it. Piggyback. Those are all the connections, you know, to the. So you know, I'm not in favor of these batteries being mounted on inside the hoverboards, because they're very hard to get access to. You know, if your battery goes bad or you need to service it, you have to dismantle the whole thing. And I guess that's why people get rid of these things, because, you know, especially mothers, fathers, you know, they have little kids that are not techie. You know, they're not gonna be spending time taking it apart. You know, you know, if the battery goes, you know, they're not gonna go in, and they rather just get rid of these units. And it's unfortunate that a lot of these things are out there. You know, if you look around, you know, you can find these things for you know, for a few dollars. You know, these things go for $200-300. You know, when they're brand new. Especially this one, I think is one of the largest ones. I don't know how old this thing is. I don't care. I mean, as long as everything works, that's my concern. The wheels are very nice wheels. You know, these are the wheels that I removed. You know, you have your standard wheel, hoverboard wheel, which is a brushless motor, three phase, 3 wires, typical for 3-phase motors. And then you have your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This one actually has 6 pins, 6-pin for the Hall sensor. This one is an inflatable wheel, which is something that I've been wanting to do, you know, with some of the smaller hoverboards. In fact, I have some videos, you know, on how I did a similar assembly with PU wheels. The problem with PU wheels is that if you let the car sit on the wheels, it'll flatten the you know, the rubber will get flat, and you get a bump, you know, next time you ride it. So I have to raise the car on the frame, you know, in blocks, you know, to clear the wheels from being on the ground with those wheels. Inflatable wheels not a problem. So problem as long as the wheel is inflated and it's kept that way. But these are nice wheels. I took out the covers because I'm going to do something I don't know, something cool here. I'm going to make my own covers there. It's got a lot of threaded holes already here for some spiffy covers. So I took the one that was here, which is just a plastic, and then there's another one that goes on top of that, you know, just the logo, I guess. But yeah, these can be covered with some nice 3D printed covers. So that's what I'll do with these wheels. They are 10-inch wheels, which is nice. It gives me a nice clearance, and those I think will work on this type of ground. You know, this is hard dirt and maybe grass and you know, areas that have little pebbles. So this is ready to go. It's nice and horizontal, nice and flat. And so my next step is going to be to start assembling the frame. start assembling the frame and figure out how I'm going to mount this at the front. I mean, I want it to look clean. I want it to look cool. I just don't want to throw things, you know, just for the hell of it, just to do, you know, just to do a sort of go-kart. I mean, I don't want to. As I said in my other video, you know, there are people putting chairs on top of these things, and they just look unsightly. You know, a chair on top of these things just looks weird and kind of ugly in my view. You know, so I mean, you can do really cool things like that if you just keep it low profile. You know, like that. I mean, that's very clean. But I also wanted suspension, so hopefully the wheels being inflatable, air filled, you know, they'll have a little cushion to that. The front end of this is going to be my it's going to be this caster wheel. It's a large caster wheel. So I just painted these. I'm going to wait another day for the assembly of this, because you know, you should really wait you know, a couple of days, or you know, a week at least, you know, to have it really cured. So I painted these parts were rusted, so I cleaned it. Oh, I have to repaint this. Forgot to paint the other side. So I'll touch this up tonight, leave it overnight, and that should. These are some of the spacers, so it's going to look really cool. I did it in red because I already have things in yellow, and you know, my favorite combinations is yellow and black and a lot of stuff. That's why I like these tools also, because they're kind of lemony yellow and black. Yeah, so this is where I'm at. Like I was saying, these parts also have been modified. These hinges, side hinges that support the wheels. So I could just cut this off and just leave this block right here as, you know, your typical blocks that hold these motors. But I am maintaining this whole assembly because I can mount the fenders right on top of these aluminum parts. From underneath there's a screw, and the fender goes right on top of that. And I can do that, you know, if I wanted to. If I want to keep the fenders, we'll see how that works out. But I can also drill a hole or a couple holes through these through this center line that I already drew here. I just need to mark where the holes are going to be, so that I can put my lateral bar, horizontal bar. It's going to be, you know, supporting one wheel on the one side, the other on the other side, and then I'll have two bars right here, similar to that, horizontal like that. You know, the other one on the other side, and that'll create my motor support, my rear support frame, and also part of the seat area. So I'll play around a little bit more, you know, with some sketches and ideas tonight. I mean, my mind's still racing with ideas, and now that I have this assembly already assembled and ready to be installed as foot controls, now my next step is going to be to figure out how I'm going to mount this cleanly. I want this to look clean. I may also paint this plastic, because I don't care for this blue plastic here. Since this go-kart is going to be red, I think I might just paint these either black, just to hide it all, in because the frame is going to be red, candy apple red, or maybe I'll just go with red also. So that's going to be my footrests in the front right there. I think it's going to look cool. All right, another video number 3. Stay tuned for the continuation of this project.